Hey, YouTube, Zobs of the Water here, bringing you a battle with my monocolor orange Little Cup team. Looking at my opponent's team, he's got a Remoraid, Bronzor, Talo, Porygon, Grimer, and Mischievous. His entire team, except Grimer, is complete threat list. Remoraid is a Choice Scarfed Water Spouter. Bronzor, Porygon, and Mischievous can be defensive beasts, while Mischievous can also be an offensive beast, and Talo is a Guts boosted monster. Grimer? I have no idea. I've honestly never fought a Grimer in Little Cup before. But let's get to it, shall we? My opponent today is Mizticall, who I met on the Smogon Wi-Fi-Battle Finder. I'm going to lead off with my Georgina, my Chimchar, as he leads off with his Rider, his Remoraid. Going for Protect, I'm going to scout out what this thing is going to do, considering they're almost always Choice Scarf. He goes for the Fire Blast, and I'm just going to stay in, considering, well, I'm pretty sure it's already just Choice Scarf. So, my suspicions are confirmed, and I can go for Stealth Rocks. He goes into Zero his Porygon, and I'm just going to U-turn out of there. I go into my Buzzard, and it's kind of like I'm kind of doing a pivot switch here, so I'm going to switch out, go for U-turn, I get a crit, and switch out into Georgina again, as he goes for Thunder Wave, but Georgina doesn't care because Georgina is very, very slow anyway. So he goes for the Recover, as I just go for the Fire Blast, but I get Para-Hacks here, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter too much in the long run. I get another Para-Hacks, but he just keeps going for these Tri-Attacks, which is great because now I'm down in Blaze range, which means I can go for a Fire Blast and get him down to, like, Revenge Killing range. So he goes for Recover as I go for another Fire Blast. I'm glad that these things are hitting, and I managed to get the burn on him. So he's going to keep going for these Recovers, but it looks like that a couple more Fire Blasts are going to do it even with Recover, thanks to the residual damage from burn. And looking at that damage, even if he chooses to attack me now, he's going to knock himself out. So he goes for a Tri-Attack, knocks out my Georgina, and then dies to burn, which is fantastic. He sends out his Manly's Mischievous as I go into my Buzzard, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm afraid that this thing might be Scarfed or something, so I'm going to pull back and go into my Baguette. He goes for Will-O-Wisp, which is interesting, so I'm guessing it's a defensive set. So I go for Spore, he goes for Will-O-Wisp, and I don't really care considering that this is just my support Paris. He goes into his Kick-Ass, his Talo, and I'm going to go for the knockoff, and I managed to knock off its Flame Orb, which means no Guts boost for you. So I'm going to pull back, go into my Shield Gas, because I am a defensive monster, as he goes for U-turn, and then goes back into his Remoraid. Now, I know that these things can carry Hidden Power Grass, and I'm pretty sure that I can take it. And I do, fairly well. So I go for a Rock Blast, I manage to knock him out, and that is one threat out of the way. So he's going to go into his Kick-Ass again, his Talo, and I'm just guessing he's going to Revenge Kill me, go for the Brave Bird. He goes for the Brave Bird, and down goes my Shield Gas. I send out my Buzzard because I am Scarfed, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to knock this thing out. I go for Stone Edge, which was a little risky on my part, considering I could have just gone for the Pluck, and it probably would have knocked it out. He goes into his Bronzor, and I do not want my Buzzard to get crippled yet. I'm going to go into my Baguette and try and knock off this thing. But he goes for a Psychic and gets a crit, which definitely mattered, not in the long run, but just for in that point. And he goes into his Toxin as I go for Synthesis. Now here, I was completely caught off guard. This thing gets Fire Punch, which completely just massacres Baguette, which means I've got to figure out something else now. I go into my Jelly, which I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have gone into my, Ron, my Crustle. Or not my Crustle, my, what is that thing called again? I can't quite remember right now. So anyway, after seeing that Fire Punch, I look up its moveset, and I see it actually gets, wow, I'm just completely thrown off. I saw that it gets Shadow Sneak, so I had my Weasel go for an Aqua Jet just so it wouldn't be completely useless. I go into my Ron now, and I'm not going to let this thing die in vain. Well, I actually don't have a choice, because if this thing's a Levitate set, which I find out with this Earthquake it is, I've pretty much lost the battle, because I've got nothing to hit this thing with even normal effective moves. Well, that's not true. I've got U-turn, but he's still got his Mischievous, and U-turn's not going to cut it against that thing. So I go for a Stone Edge, hoping for a crit. He goes for a Flash Cannon, gets the crit instead of me, and ends the battle right then and there. That was a fun battle, Mizticall. A little hacksy, but not the kind of hacksy that would ruin the game. So, let's get to the talk of the day. Today's talk of the day, I want to let you guys know what's going on. Maybe some of you have noticed I've been uploading later and later in the day. This isn't my intention. I've actually been uploading it fairly early in the morning, like around 6 o'clock. But YouTube is doing something, I have no idea, and it's taking anywhere from an hour to 12 hours to process. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. I just wanted to let you guys know that if a video is a little late, that's probably the reason why. So I think that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. Comment, rate, subscribe, and challenge.